Sunday, I'll guarantee there's going to be 30, 40, 50 cars coming out of that junction with kids in it, and there's going to be HGVs turning into that junction on the wrong side of the road on occasion, and that's dangerous for me. Whereas if the access is there, it's less dangerous, still dangerous, but it's less dangerous, and definitely less dangerous than going through that S-bend, probably on the wrong side of the road, all the way down Avalon Road. Then we were talking about the decibels. If you stood on that road, none of the houses on the left-hand side of Avalon Road have any sound mitigation except for windows, possibly, but all the gardens are wide open, all of them. And I think the residents there are going to be expected for at least 18 months, at least. And on past experience of the Lyndhurst estate, it's way longer than 18 months. They're going to have to put up with lorries going up and down, up and down, up and down, when there is perfectly good access right there. We're looking at it. And as Robbie said, we're going to use the existing access. There it is. So I'm going to propose another condition or an amendment to this condition saying that they can only use that access onto the site and do whatever they want on the site in terms of a road to allow them to deliver, go in, get out of the way, deliver, get out. Because I just don't see why they need to use Avalon Road where they've got perfectly good access right there.
Are there any further comments? You making comment, Councillor Stevenson? No further comment? Can we go to a proposer for the motion to go for a vote? You did say you were going to change a condition. That's what I was looking for.
Say that again.
I think we might have a problem with that access point that you've spotted, Richard. So I'll ask the officers to explain.
I think the access point you pointed out is at this point here, this plan, which I believe probably the access to maintain this already balancing pond that's in. So the access through to the site practical. So I think that's a drop curb there. It wouldn't be suitable to serve the rest of the site.
Why not?
I think the main reason for this going through is for it to take it up to here, to this point here, so they can work on that junction, get that junction in before the house is done. At that point, this junction would then be used. But it's not as though that is going to service the whole development. It's just for a short period to allow that junction to go in. As I say, that drop curve there, I would suspect, is to service these balancing points that we're in. So it wouldn't be practical to actually use that.
That explanation before we go to the vote. Are there any further comments before we go to a vote? That additional information.
Please, sorry.
Did you want to come in, Richard?
Well,
on this plan, these areas here, parking and storage areas for materials, and as the site advances, that will move up this area here. So vehicles, you're correct, the vehicles will travel on that long road, but these are the areas that we use for parking and for material storage. As development progresses, as I say, it will move to here. Key reason for that access is to give them the ability to bring in this junction. As I think Robbie mentioned in his presentation, that would avoid major disruption to Abbott Road during that construction period. Because if that's construction from that end, I've no idea how long it would take, traffic lights, etc. I suspect it would have to be a three-way traffic light to live in Abbott Road and this junction here. So that's one of the reasons I suspect this junction is being put forward, and it would avoid those problems on Abbott Road, those challenges they would face on Abbott Road.
Chair.
Councillor Tempest Mitchell.
So we've got a massive piece of land. I forget how many hectares it is, but it's ginormous and there's nothing on it at the moment. So you're telling me that they can't build a road from Water Lane, the beginning of Avalon Road, into the land itself, up to the bottom of that diagram, build the junction from inside the land. Bearing in mind they have known about it for 12 years or so. And at the moment, if I remember rightly, if I've got it right, that they won't do that for 18 months. Whereas if they just put an access in where I've suggested, and there is room because I've checked it out this morning. Yes, there are swales and the flood development down the top of that picture, but there's easily enough room to put a temporary road through the site to the bottom of the picture on Abbott Road, do that junction, and then if need be, get rid of that road, but you still got access there where you are now and at the top at the very beginning of Avalon Road. So they're building a road on something that there's nothing there at the moment, but they could do it, can't they? I just don't get it.
I think that what they're proposing to do is actually use the existing road that's there, practical reasons to get through to the top.
And that's my problem. That there's 30 odd houses on Avalon Road going to have to put up with HGVs going right past their gardens. Gardens are 5 or 6 meters deep, no fencing, no noise mitigation, no vibration mitigation for at least 18 months. And on experience from the Lyndhurst estate, that'll probably be 3.5 years. Plus you've got the bridleway, which Persimmon left Black Scotch Lane bridleway blocked off for yonks until NCC rights of way team got onto them, and I suspect they'll do it again. I might be wrong, but I suspect they'll do it again.
In terms of the bridleway, Karen's also already mentioned that we could have an extra condition there to see how that would be managed, so it would give us a bit more control. So we could actually control potentially that length of time in consultation with the highway authority and the rights of way officers to ensure that the disruption to that bridleway is as minimal as possible. So Karen has proposed that additional condition to be able to control that.
We've got a proposal for the recommendation that's with the application. If you want to add the additional conditions, I need a proposal for that so that they're included. Councillor Swinscoe.
You want us to add an additional condition requiring how the bridleway will be managed during that construction period.
And with a time scale on that, because it's timed with the bridleways and history from Persimmon, there's an issue with time scale that they had to be kicked screaming to open Black Scotch Lane, and I suspect that they'll probably do it again. So with a time scale of 6 months, as you've suggested. Chair, can I also propose an amendment? A condition that they use the original access point as suggested by Persimmon's representative, which is the one at the top at the beginning of Avalon Way.
understanding is that the application doesn't include that, so you would have to refuse the application before you could amend it. So the proposal is the application as made with access through the site along Avalon Road. Councillor Tempest Mitchell.
I don't think it is actually. I think the proposal for the amendment is access from Water Lane. I don't think it mentions Avalon.
Access from Water Lane along Avalon Road to the estate, the Spine Road. To Paul to explain point on this one.
Thank you, Chair. Dan, I don't know if you're able to bring up the plan that you had earlier. Sorry, the colored one? Yes, something there. Is that a plan that would be approved? So this is an application drawing showing the route through this site using Avalon Way. That is an application drawing as part of this proposal, even though reference to Avalon Way isn't in the description. This is part of what members would be approving.
Explaining the vote is for the access from Water Lane through the Spine route of Avalon Way through the estate that's being built out. I'm ready to go to the vote, yeah. If you don't like that, you can vote against it and then put counter proposal. But I'll go to the vote by show of hands. All those in favour, please show. But including that condition for the bridleway, yes. Yes. Yeah, the main proposal with the amended extra condition on the bridleway. Any abstentions? Any against? The motion's been carried. Thank you very much. So, application reference 2025-0341 VCon, variation of condition 8, construction method statement on the application 2018-0552 outlined planning application, including a reserved matter of access for the development of a 16.05 hectare of land for up to 400 dwellings, all of the matters reserved to allow construction traffic to use Water Lane access at the start of the construction period, phases 2, 3 and 4, land at Pennymint Farm, Abbott Road, Mansfield, has been granted permission with the additional condition about the bridleway. Thank you for your cooperation. Move on to agenda item 6, which is the appendices for Human Rights Act use classes appendices 1 and 2. Could I have a show of hands saying we've recognised those? That's unanimous, thank you. And then the final agenda item is agenda item 7, the planning appeals decisions 25th of June to the 26th of June, 22nd of July, and there are none. Right, thank you very much for your attendance at the committee. Safe journey home. And yeah, thank you.